going to be another fun day here. We got our Wednesdays with Coach Willaert, right?
Yes, sir. First one with you this year.
I know this is. So, Tony, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about last week, how it went. Some good things that we saw. We had a close match with Simpson, right?
Yeah. We that was one we thought we could get. We knew we'd have to battle really hard with Central. They're a really good team. They always have been, or at least since I've been involved in head coaching. Coach Van Clay does a great job there, but we thought we would get Simpson. We just gave up, one pin. Really, that was a big difference, and we almost had a pin at heavyweight to seal the deal, which was really exciting. But it wasn't meant to be this year. So,
yep. Now he came away with the win, but boy, I think if you would have had 2-3 seconds more on the clock, I think the mat's getting slapped. I mean, I'm never gonna badmouth a ref, but he was about as close as you can get in college, maybe a little past close.
Yeah, Scold was pretty upset after that. I think he was really disappointed. He felt like he let the team down, but he'd only been practicing for a week at that point out of football, and he's the starting left guard, maybe on the offensive line, but football and wrestling shape are very different. And he went out, and that kid's tough. He's probably in the top half of the Iowa conference, and that was a match that we lost a couple of years ago. So the fact that he went out and got the win was impressive. Obviously we would have loved to have the pin, but he was disappointed, but we, obviously had to cheer him up, and he got the win. So that was big.
Hey, yep. You got the dub, and things are going the right way, but let's drop all the way down to 25 on the start of the day. So not the match that we were hoping for. They had some issues at 25 with your opponents making weight and not bringing the full team. Let's talk about that match. I know he had a forfeit on the first round at versus Simpson, but then he had a nice follow-up match against Central, right?
Yeah, Central. So he was supposed to wrestle McChesney from Simpson, who's ranked somewhere in the top 10. And then the Central kid he was supposed to wrestle was number 1, but neither of them ended up either making weight or showing up. But like I said, Central's a great program, and the kid's name is Posas. And he's a very good wrestler. We've seen him wrestle a couple times throughout the year, and he's been placing at tournaments and stuff. So we ended up getting the major, which was huge. And Alex, I think that was his 5th or 6th win in a row. So he's been feeling himself lately, and like I said, it was not the opponent we wanted, but still a very, very quality opponent, and we ended up getting bonus points. So
nice. Then we went right into 133. Now I was talking to you a little bit earlier about this. I love this kid, man. He is a grinder. I mean, you want to have the full 7 minutes. I think he'll give you everything you want for 7 minutes if you can last that long with him, right?
Yeah. Trevor, he's from Sycamore. He was a state placer in high school. His freshman year, he came in, and I think he was cutting down to 25, which I think affected him a little bit, but he did not have the freshman year that we thought he would, or that he thought he would. But then he took care of business in the spring and summer, came back in the fall up at 33, and usually if a kid's not doing well at 25 and then move up a weight class, all of a sudden it's like, what's this year going to be like? And he had a great year last year. He took 3rd in the conference, went 2-2 at the national tournament, and he's been working his tail off ever since. So Trevor is a guy that you don't have to worry about in anything. He's always going to do the right things and take care of business. And he did it the other day. He got 2 major decisions. He, the Carver Center is a little interesting, like the scoreboard straight up above the mat. So you can't really tell. Off of both matches, he came off and he's like, Coach, did I get the major? Did I get the major? Like, he's that invested in the team and that concerned about bonus points, and he wants it every time. So
that's great. And he does fill out that 33 weight class too, very well. I mean, he's not I wouldn't say he's a small 33 pounder at all. He looks well put together.
Yep, for sure.
So the next match, I think there was something really confusing, and maybe you can talk me through this. I was there. I didn't post this video, but boy, it looked like you guys had a 4-point move for putting a guy in danger. he was on his back for probably 20 seconds, I would guess. But what did you see, or what did the ref explain to you? I know you talked to him a little bit on the side about it.
I wasn't super happy about it. It's so obviously the danger rule in college is in those non-traditional takedown scenarios where one guy's technically not in control, but the other guy's on his back. Basically, they have to break 90 degrees with their back to be in danger. So they'll say danger, red, 1, 2, 3. On the third count, it's 2, right? So if they're in near fall criteria then, which is 45 degrees, they start counting near fall immediately. So we thought he was in near fall criteria, and looking back on film, it looked like one of his shoulders was touching the mat, but the ref said that he felt that the kid's shoulders were on our leg. So basically, like if I pull you straight on top of me in like a crab ride position, you can't count near fall through somebody. So he thought that the guy's back was on our leg, so he couldn't count near fall, which, you know, I have a great relationship with that ref, but I disagree with him on that call. So it was something that we thought we had near fall, which would have given us the bonus points. And I don't know how much video you got, but I was pretty heated about it at the time. So maybe it's good that you didn't post anything, but
yeah. So yeah, I was sitting there, and I think, you know, just for our listeners, what happened prior, looks like we had a little bit of a scramble going on, and then the both wrestlers went into funk mode where they went underneath, and your wrestler, I'm drawing a blank on the name right now.
Alex Cruz,
yes, countered the funk by hooking his foot underneath the neck, which is one of the counters to stop that from continuing. Just, you know, that loop continuing on and on. And at that point, just stalled out that wrestler on his back for it seemed indefinite for me. It felt like he was there for 15, 20 seconds. I'm sure it wasn't, but
it was probably close. Yeah, close to it. But yeah, it was definitely, in my view of it, it was definitely near fall, but unfortunately I don't make the calls in that.
So we'll move on from that, and you still almost catch that match with your heavyweight almost putting away. So very good match, really good duel. If anyone was missed that duel that night, and I know there's a lot of wrestling going on with Thursday with high school wrestlers, but boy, that was a fun one to follow and watch you guys coming down to the final match of the night, and just missing out by a hair. So So talk to us. How'd the remainder of the night go, the remainder of the week for you guys?
Yeah, that night we, you know, like I said, we wrestled Central after Simpson. We got 3 wins out of that in the duel, and then we won an extra match. Sam Darrow, he's from Oak Park. He actually went 2-0 on the night. He wrestled 1 match at 41 against Simpson, and I think he won like 9-3 or something like that. And then we ended up bumping him up and didn't tell him. He wrestled 49 against Central, and he had a really good match there. He came back with reversal and near fall, won 6-5 against the 49-pounder. So that was great. Our 74-pounder, AJ Geraci, he went in at 74 against Central and beat a pretty tough kid. And then Alex and Trevor both won against Central as well. So the score wasn't on our side, but like I said before, Central's a great program. And then we wrestled Milliken, who's another top 15 team in the country. You know, we I think we've talked about it with Todd and with Rob, but our schedule's pretty tough. We see top teams in the Iowa Conference. We see some top teams in the CCIW. And I think it almost seems like we front loaded it. Like we'll have some tough duels on the second half, but it's nothing like our first half schedule. So we lost to Milliken in the duel, but we let's see here. We won at 41 and 84. Both of them are our Colorado boys. We got Cameron Hanel and Jacob Badger, who both won. Cameron got a tech fall. Jacob got almost a major. Alex had a close match with a ranked kid at 25. Trevor had a close match with a ranked kid at 33. Alex Cruz had a close match with a top CCIW guy. He's not ranked in the country yet, but he could be, probably will be. Close match there. So, you know, when we go out and I say it every week, right? We go out and compete against those great teams, those tough teams, and it's good. It's great. We're excited about it, but we have a lot to do to be where we want to be. So, but the guys are motivated and excited about it. And then at Milliken, we also got another 2 extra matches. Sam got another match, the Oak Park kid, and he got a pin. And then we got to see Josh Woodry for the first time. He's one of our heavyweights off of football, and he went out and got a pin. So it's cool seeing our young guys go in and, you know, compete against the other, you know, these top programs, young guys, and get the wins. So
nice. How are the guys being in the transition from football season? I know you got quite a few of them into wrestling. How's that going for everyone?
It's good. I mean, like I said, with school, they're in great football shape, you know, but they're all asking to do extra workouts, and we run them through some circuits. We get in the room, catch them up on technique, and you know, it's fun when they're motivated like that. You know, they could just as easily just show up just for practice and you know, just do the minimum, but they're all motivated. They're all excited to be on the mat and wrestling. Like just before this interview here, we're Daniel Scold and Jack Paddington and I were in getting a workout in. So, you know, they're excited to wrestle and kind of achieve their goals on the mat.
Nice. So we're at the midway term about on the season, as you had mentioned, getting everyone probably ready for a couple more meets before the season ends, or midterm, the next term ends for you guys. Yep. What are you looking at for matches coming up? And how do you prepare you guys mentally going into holiday season here?
It's kind of cool. We got we go to the North Central tournament, which is a great tournament. North Central is a top 10 team. Augsburg's a top 10 team. I believe Lacrosse sends some guys who's a top 10 team. So this tournament's great. We're going to use it for a couple of our guys to get a little bit of rest. But it's going to be pretty telling for, you know, 74 heavyweight. Kind of trying to figure out our lineups going into these duels in Nashville. That's something that we try to do is do kind of a fun trip. So we'll be competing down in St. Louis against Fontbonne University on the 16th, and then we head to Nashville to do 3 duels at the Gator Boots duels on the 18th. And then it's kind of cool because the guys, it's kind of like one last hoorah before they go home for Christmas and kind of recharge and rejuvenate their bodies and get in with their high school teams and talk to some of their guys and some of their old coaches. And then they come back and gear up for the second half of the year.
Love it. Now, you had mentioned pretty heavy front end loaded season you had this year. What are we looking at in the second half? And what are a couple of wrestlers that I want to keep my eye on, or I want my listeners to keep their eye on that are, you know, the dark horses coming out that you're really surprised with?
Yeah, I think, you know, we will open up 2022 with a duel at home against Carthage, and Rob and I talked a little bit about it. We're going to do a youth night that night. So in the next week or so, we're going to be putting out some information on that. So we'll do a clinic the weekend before, which will be January 2nd. And then we're going to do some type of meet and greet, autograph signing, whatever. And everybody who comes to the youth clinic will get into the duel for free and stuff like that. So we'll finish up our conference schedule. We've wrestled the 3 toughest conference schools. Well, Wheaton's pretty tough too, but Elmhurst, Milliken, and North Central and us have been the top 4 in the conference the last 2 years. But so we'll finish up our conference schedule. So hopefully we can win out in the conference schedule. Then we wrestle some open tournaments. And then the big regular season one is the Pete Wilson invite. That's the one that we mark on the calendar every year. That's like a 30 some team tournament. It's all D3. So if you're winning the Pete Wilson, you're going to be pretty much an All-American. So that's a fun one. And then obviously the conference tournament, regionals and nationals in Cedar Rapids. So, but
that is in Cedar Rapids.
What was that?
I'm sorry, that is in Cedar Rapids, you said, this year?
The national tournament's in Cedar Rapids. Yep. Yeah. It's always been something that I've wanted to try to do at the Tax Slayer Center. We just got to, you know, get some community support and, you know, hopefully we can talk the Tax Slayer people into doing a wrestling tournament versus a concert or something like that. Cause I think it would be a great place for it. But, I forgot about the dark horses part. The kind of fun part for us is, you know, we're in the Iowa conference, which is, or not the Iowa conference, but the Iowa regional, which is the toughest in the country. So it's kind of cool because I think we have guys who can make it out of the tournament to the national tournament, but we're kind of all dark horses. You know, we got Alex in the rankings right now. Trevor is right there. I think Alex Cruz is close. I think a guy like AJ Geraci can be right there. I think our heavyweight can be right there. You know, and obviously they'll have to put a great tournament together. But you know, it's kind of fun because I wouldn't be surprised if we had multiple guys at the national tournament. But we could very easily not have any at the national tournament. So we're just, you know, kind of gearing up and, like I said, getting ready for that last push. So
side note here, you had mentioned about the conference. I mean, you guys, there's no doubt it's the toughest way through to get into the national tournament, probably anywhere in the US is what I'm guessing on the D3 level, my personal opinion, with the teams you have there. Do you foresee that ever changing rather than, because right now it's the top 3, I believe, get through, and you could have easily 5-6 ranked guys in your bracket to get through, and someone's going to be left behind almost in every bracket every year. So do you ever see that changing to more of the way a D1 program runs, where they can say it's a heavier weighted schedule?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I go through the D3 rankings every now and then and look at this, and of the regionals, this is the last one that I went through. The lower Midwest regional has 58 guys who are ranked in the top 26 in the country. Okay. 30 of them are in the top 10. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the top 10 at 25, 3 in the top 10 at 33, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the top 10 at 41. There are weights that have 5 guys in the top 10 in the country. So you have 2 top 10 guys at some weight classes who won't even qualify for the national tournament, which is pretty nuts. So it's almost like, you know, yeah, it's unfair, you know, but if we get a guy through to the national tournament, chances are they're going to be an All-American. So like, it sucks because some of the guys that are here and even at other schools in the lower Midwest, they don't get the recognition that they deserve. But you know, that's the way it is now. But I would love for him to do some type of RPI. But the hard part is like, unless it's an RPI and they do it based on last year's results or whatever, that's how they used to do it, is you would get so many automatic qualifiers and then so many wild cards based on the previous years. But then say you have 3 teams that are senior heavy, and then all of a sudden their backups aren't as good. And, you know, programs fluctuate from year to year. So that's not necessarily the fairest way to do it either. So I think no matter what, there are going to be people who love it, people who hate it, people who, you know, advocate for the system that's in place, people who complain. So it's just one of those things. Like, again, I don't make the calls, I don't make the decisions, but we just kind of deal with how it is.
Yep.
So,
Hey, got to beat the best to be the best, right?
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah.
So, other news going on at Augie, you just got a new president of the university, right?
Yep. Yeah. President Balls has been here for 16 or 17 years now, and he's done a lot of stuff for the school. He was a great fundraiser. He, you know, I think the Gerber Center is a new building under his watch. We did some renovations on the Hanson Hall of Sciences. We did the new pool. We did all kinds of different stuff to improve the school. And it's hard seeing him go because I've been here for 5 years now, and we've built a little bit of a relationship. But everything I've heard on this new president has been great. So she comes from, what did I tell you, Nazareth, I think, out in New York. So she's been to a few different places, but we actually just got an email from the president of Nazareth saying that he's really sad to see her go, but their loss is our gain, is what he said. So kind of cool, kind of exciting. So
that'll be excellent. Hopefully that East Coast wrestling mentality comes over with her too. And we'll keep funding our incredible wrestling program we got at Augie as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully.
Well, Coach, we got anything else going on that they want to touch base on?
No, I mean, just be on the lookout for the youth night stuff. We want to pack that place with all the local, you know, middle school, elementary, even some high school kids if they're interested. But we should have a good crowd for the Carthage duel. That's on January 6th.
All right. So January 6th, definitely want to pack the house. If you got kids that are interested in going to a youth program, they're wrestling the week before, correct?
Yeah, we'll do a only girls clinic and then an only guys clinic. And Carthage has men's and women's program as well. So we'll do, maybe not like a true duel against the women's team because we're both fairly, smaller. But the duel against the men's team will be a full duel. And like I said, we'll do the only girls clinic, only guys clinic, and then that Thursday we'll be wrestling at the Carver Center. So.
Great opportunity for a lot of young wrestlers. And if anyone has not been to the Carver Center yet, there's not a bad seat in that house. And we'd like to see that place get loud and rowdy. So Let's pack the house, right?
For sure.
All right. Thanks again, Coach Tony. We look forward to hearing from you in the near future. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Yep. See ya.